When I was on retreat in Bali recently, marinating in the energies of limitlessness, which was the theme of the retreat, I was asking myself, because I had the space to sit and consider what is the next step for me? What is the next project or the next expression or the next creative thing that I feel inspired to bring to this planet on my path of higher calling? What does love want to do through me now? And what came to me was oracle cards. I want to make some oracle cards. Now, I've wanted to make oracle cards for a long time, so this is nothing new, right? But what came on that retreat was the decision to make oracle cards. Not just an idea, not just oh, I'd love to do that one day, or I want to do that, but actually the commitment to do that as part of the next phase, I suppose, of what I'm here to bring and offer in service to the world. Because as you guys know, some of you know, I have had kind of a unique path in a sense that, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was, I decided I'm not doing the 9 to 5. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to sell my soul to do a job I don't want to do. I felt so inspired and lit up by the energy within me that wanted to express spiritual truth and higher consciousness and teach that and talk about that. I felt so inspired in that area that I decided to go for it rather than put it off, play it safe, which is fine. A lot of people do that, and that's okay. I'm not judging. It's just my personal, I guess, ballsy kind of thing was that I just can't, like, it actually feels like death to do that. So I couldn't do that. So my alternative was I had to follow the higher laws. I had to find ways to make it work or just keep going long enough to make it work. And in doing so, I've understood so well this process of following our higher calling rather than copping out and just taking any job and living a life we're not really that satisfied with. I've really gone into it in such depth and, created courses about it, about following your calling, going to work for love, living through higher principles and that kind of thing. I've ended up carving out this life, this existence where I have multiple income streams supporting me in the life that I want to live. And of course, those income streams, they suit me okay for now, but they definitely could be improved and expanded upon. This is a work in progress, but I'm certainly so grateful that I'm not doing something I don't really want to do, that my life is meaningful, I'm on that path of purpose. And I feel like that is the thing I'm really here to teach others. That's really the message of my lifetime, that the thing that is exuding through this portal to help whoever is attracted to it. And I feel like I can do that through an oracle deck really well. So an oracle deck called Follow Your Calling is what basically it's going to be. And it's basically going to be a whole lot of cards that help you to stay on track with that. Because I know there is so many people out there who are going to work for themselves in their own heart-led business, whatever that might be, as therapists, as coaches, as teachers, as mentors, inspirational creators, whatever that might be. And I know how it goes. I know the way the mind works. I know what we get stuck on. It's universal. And all the clients I work with, they go through the similar things that I went through. And so I've, over the years, just kind of gathered this encyclopedia, I suppose, inside of myself of all the different little tips and tricks and tools and shifts and reflections and ways to line back up again and things to remember to keep us on that path of calling or to keep us going with that and not giving up and not just copping out and taking some job we don't want to do and dimming our light. There's so much within me. So while I was away traveling around Indonesia, I was thinking, oh, how am I going to do these cards? Like what? So I was thinking, oh, when I get home, or maybe I'll go away on holiday, maybe I'll go away again because it's really easy for me to, when I'm on my own in another country, I don't have all the other input around me and the other roles that I take on, of mother, housewife, cook, cleaner, all of the bits and pieces that kind of, are there in the background. Maybe I'll go away again and I'll, have some space where I can just nail these cards and just knock it out, in a few weeks' time. And then I thought, why don't I just start now, while I'm away on holiday? So that's what I did. I got this little journal in Bali, just a little handmade thing. I'd written some things in it, and everyone on the retreat got a notebook. They were all a bit different to mine, but anyway, doesn't matter. What I did was I got this notebook and I just started somewhere. I just started anywhere with, well, basically, if I'm going to be really real, what I did was I took some of the content that I'd talked about on the retreat, some of the workshops that I'd written some notes in here. And what I basically did was looked at that content that I'd delivered and thought, what are the key things in there that people need to remember? Inspiration, that's one of them. So that's one card. Limitlessness, that's another one. So that's another card. And basically just started going through my material and pulling out the cards from it. And every card I just started writing had a page. So I dedicate this page to that card, this page to that card. And it's not like I was being perfect or getting it perfect. It was like basically just a placeholder of energy for that, which I'll go back and rewrite, better later. But I just went through and started writing, as the ideas came to me. And then as I started to write this card, then I think, oh, and that, and then, and that, and that, and that, and more and more and more started coming and coming and coming. And then I realized that the cards have a kind of like, they kind of have themes. So I started to put them into groups. So there's like the foundation of reality cards, like when we want to come back and we want to remember foundation of our reality to help us click back into what's real and what's true, right? Creative power cards. So they are the cards that are out that kind of go over what is our creative power. We can use our creative power. Let's use it. Remember this creative power that we have. And then the third group is the living your calling cards, which when you are on that track of doing the thing, putting yourself out there, writing the emails, making the posts, doing the things, whatever it might be, these are the cards that help you do that with more effectiveness and less self-doubt and kind of keep you on track with that living your calling. So that's the way that it's kind of developed so far. And then I've thought, well, this is more than just some cards, right, that I'm making and putting out there. Like this commitment to making these cards is actually like a deeper commitment to the community that I serve out there who are living in this way, who have been through some kind of awakening or who are going through that and who are wanting to who can't go back to the corporate or can't go back to that old life where they were stifling themselves, who must keep opening and expressing, who feel a calling coming through them. I have a big commitment to that community, and I think that that is what I'm wanting to develop through bringing these cards. And so that's why I'm going to make some videos along the way as I'm doing it to really just detail the whole process of it. Um, like the nitty-gritty things, like what I've showed you, the notebook and how I'm making it and how I'm going to make the pictures and all of that stuff. All of that, I'm going to document all of that. But not only that, it's how do I get out of my own way to make that happen? Because honestly, it has taken me quite a few days to get up the courage to make this first video. You know, the perfectionism, the self-doubt, the all of that was there again. And this is it, right? I needed, like, those cards would have been so helpful for me now making this video. That's the thing. Like, I did a meditation this morning and realized, you know, I'd gone back into all of that again. So even me, who's making this content, who understands it so freaking much to the ninth degree, and who's going to bring these cards, even I still need support. I need to remember, you know, I need cards like that to keep me on track and help me remember when I've gone into the gravity of all of those old doubts and things like that. And it's just helping. You know, like one of the things I remembered today when I was meditating, and realigning and everything was that, you know, I'd gone back into that energy of, uh, you know, what do people think of me? How is this going to be received? The self-consciousness part, or the self-doubt, rather than, and this is what the cards and everything talk about, what am I here to give? What am I here to bring? You know, instead of trying to get what are people going to think of me? What is this going to do for me? How is this going to affect me, which is this kind of sucking energy. It's like, what am I giving? What am I bringing? What is the deeper motivation for making these videos, for making these cards? You know, and it's that heart-centered love inspiration for, I really want to help this community. I really want to make a difference to the people who are really freaking struggling with putting themselves out there and getting their call and going, their beautiful light they have to offer the world. You know, I want that to be seen. You know, I want people to be able to live that, because imagine this place if we were all doing that and not dimming our light and going into self-doubt and self-consciousness. Would be a really, really, really beautiful place. So not only am I going to document my own journey of making these cards and the technical stuff, but and also the things I'm having to work through personally to keep going, and that my own doubts and fears that I'm having to slay and things like that. Not only am I going to document all of that, but I'm also going to be talking about the wisdom in each of these cards as well, and bringing downloads of that, you know, transmissions of these cards into these videos as well. And I'd really love your feedback and input as I am going through this process and unfolding these cards. You know, I'd love to know what you really think should be included, what's really helped you on your path of calling. And, you know, as I'm making the images, I'll be asking you to give me feedback on that too. You know, which ones really feel good to you, or really magnetic to you. It'll be so cool to get your input on that. So if you're interested in following me on this journey and you feel like there's some stuff that you could learn in here too, then I would love to have you by my side as I work through all of this. It's going to be an interesting ride. So look out for the next video coming soon. Take care.